The 4th of July will be the UK's first TikTok election, with out-of-touch politicians attempting to appeal to young people who historically do not turn out to vote. Some of these attempts are certainly better than others, but most end up coming across as completely desperate.
You're gonna want to hear this.
Which is predictably the case with the majority of the Conservative Party's memes. So please join me in this torture as I attempt to review them. First up, we have Rishi Sunak's now infamous notepad gag, which works fine in theory, I guess. You know, it's just Labour's plan equals nothing, which is pretty derivative, but it is fairly straight to the point. And I am surprised they managed to rope Sunak himself into this, so points for that, I guess. But as you can imagine, this post quickly backfired, and basically ended up giving Labour a platform to further promote their policies. So in summary, this one obviously isn't great. Next up is another TikTok, this one a lot lower budget, but I'd argue it's more effective than the previous one. It's directly replying to a comment, so there's some audience engagement, a slightly amusing caption, and an embarrassing video of the leader of the opposition, Keir Starmer. Don't get me wrong, this video is not going to win any votes, but I do think it's a bit funny. Now on the other end, this TikTok is rather abysmal. There is some unintentional comedy to be found with the UK's largest political party posting this.
We have a plan for the future. Tax.
Which is the equivalent of an early 2010s iFunny post, but apart from that, there's really not much here, and it just goes on and on and on. If it's not funny the first time, it's not going to suddenly become hilarious on the 5th repeat. So unsurprisingly, I'm giving this one a negative rating. Moving over to X, formerly Twitter, where we have what's probably more of an attack ad than a meme. Without commenting on the validity of the claim in the video, it's well produced enough and makes the point they want to, and I think it does a decent job of keeping the viewer's attention. I implied earlier that a higher budget does not necessarily mean better, though I'd argue this is far more effective than Rishi's notepad. Moving over to YouTube's answer to TikTok, Shorts, where the official Conservative Party account has posted this. Within seconds, you can already tell what the video at the bottom is because of the caption, and it's that text in the middle of the screen that absolutely ruins this video's punchline. By now, I'm sure you figured out that the video on the bottom half of the screen is someone making waffles, which is of course a term for speech lacking substance. So I think it's a real missed opportunity that you already know the punchline before the video reaches its end. And for that reason, this is yet another ineffective meme. Back to X for another attack ad, and this time it features the massive red piggy bank that the Conservatives have been attempting to associate with Labour's alleged tax rises. It's actually quite an impressive ad visually, with these enormous red piggy banks floating above a city, so I'll give credit where it's due to the CGI. Of course, the figures associated with this video have been disputed, but as an ad, I think it actually does a fair job at hammering home the point. This is clearly one of the few winning issues for Conservatives, as shown by how Rishi Sunak managed to eke out a victory in the first debate over Keir Starmer by almost endlessly talking about this alleged £2,000 in tax rises. Whether that's remotely accurate or not is not for me to decide, but the advert itself is visually impressive and straight to the point, so I think it works well. This next meme might just be the most creative. After heading over to the Conservative Party merch store, you can find an assortment of Keir Starmer action figures, all costing an exorbitant amount of money. Do you get the joke yet? While it's not a particularly unique or clever line of attack, I did find it a little funny that they were willing to go this far with the gag to actually add it to their store page. So points for creativity. On top of the extreme prices, these action figures also attempt to paint Keir Starmer as indecisive, depicting various eras of Keir Starmer, the most damaging of which being Corbyn Keir. I can imagine if this was one of the dolls where you can pull the little cord on the back to make it say something, this one would probably say that Jeremy Corbyn would make a great Prime Minister. These are of course unfortunately not real, but I do think the concept is funny. So I will award it a rare positive rating. Those were all of the memes I have for you today. Sorry to put you through that, but if you survived and would for some reason like to see me review Labour's memes, do let me know in the comments. And while you're down there, please consider subscribing as well as ringing the notifications bell so you don't miss out on any of our 2024 election coverage. Thanks for watching, see you next time.